Wow, two Necromancer builds back to back from the old Papa Zero, much wow. Today I got a Necromancer build for you that circumnavigates the magnanimous 11 link. Trigger on hit, summon Raging Spirits with a dash of Herald of Agony build for you. Come to think of it, maybe I should rename all of my builds to That Is a Mouthful builds. I digress. Being a fan of the Fire Trigger on hit enchant on single-handed axes this league, and already making a Poison Fire Pathfinder and a Charge Stack and Slayer builds this league utilizing this enchant, I decided to make yet another build using this beautiful enchant. This time the axe in question was 30 divines, but had what in my mind would be the perfect 4 explicit support gem modifiers for Summon Raging Spirits, and hence here we are. It's too bad that Summon Raging Spirits are the only minions with the fire tag on their gem, otherwise I would have tried all sorts of variations. Summoning all sorts of beasts and zygotes. Needless to say, in my mind, the SRSs delivered. With this build I really focused on getting minion movement speed because I did not want to summon slow skis that wouldn't even make it to their target before they expired. With the gem support, ring, and few jewels, my minions reach over 100% increased movement speed, so take that, Go Mifune. Their damage is solid, but their primary focus is map clear and not single target, and that's why I experimented with and got myself the Agony Crawler via Herald of Agony gem for that sole reason. Even though my Lancing Steel of spraying only has 40% chance to poison to get those virulent stacks up for the Agony Crawler, it is more than enough to max them out. Even on a single target, albeit a little bit slower than say if we were to use the Poison Gem support. However, I valued Withering Touch support in my Lancing Steel setup more because I can apply Wither stacks that much sooner on my enemies and my minions do that much more damage quicker. Because I'm running 2 very socket intensive minions, I could not fit any cast when damage taken setups, nor specters or animated guardian. With that said, this build feels pretty smooth, so all is not lost. Defensively for this build, I have nearly max block, Arctic Armor Gem, 4 endurance charges, and nearly 100 life gained on hit thanks to the Watcher's Eye, life gain on hit gem, and a ring. However, at the end of the day, it's nothing too special and block is carrying this build hard. Well, block and Lancing Steel spraying. Doing some quick maths, firing 370 projectiles per second times 90 gained life on hit. Each projectile hitting approximately 16 times equates to 4,052,097 life gained on hit per hour. Not too shabby. Lastly about this build, once again pretty flexible as far as the gear goes. If you want more damage, you could get yourself Bottled Faith, Flask, potentially Witch Fire Brew if you had access to that second curse setup. You could experiment with maybe grabbing some other minions like Holy Relic or zombies or whatever you like. However, the problem is that this build has very little minion life increase and therefore your minions would die very fast in my opinion. That is why I got myself the Blessed Rebirth Cluster Notable, because otherwise in tier 17s my Raging Spirits wouldn't even make it to their targets, even with their fantastical speed. I'll go over the gear super quick, but of course if you have any questions, feel free to ask below. Alright, here's the beautiful Siege Axe that I got myself for 30 divines like I said. The chest +1, +2. It was about 1 divine. I had to 6-socket it myself and 6-link it, but not too bad. Just a Devouring Diadem to help me with my mana issues. So something to note, which I didn't mention before, is that you do have to get yourself a Discipline and a Watcher's Eye with Discipline, Energy Shield gain on it. Otherwise, I mean, you're spending, like 170 mana per, 0.25 seconds or something like that. So, yeah. Very important. This Watcher's Eye, a must. Once again, from a previous build, I had the tattoos for +2 blockage, but that's not required. You could potentially get yourself this wheel right here if you needed more block, or again using a Elegant Hubris. I do have the +12 to block right here, minion damage here, but I also had chance to grab this note right here for 2 points, +12 block. That's a pretty easy sell to me if I needed it. Very important that you grab yourself a Spiritual Command because that will enable us to, attack very quickly. This jewel I've used on 3 or 4 different builds now. It was about 10 divines, and so kind of spendy, but I mean, fantastic for doing the damage. Not required, but again, wanting to kind of min-max my mana reservation efficiency, I got myself the Circle of Nostalgia with just a little bit of life and life gained on hit. This is a self-crafted ring. Initially, I wanted to use this. I've had this ring since basically the beginning of the league, and I'm like, look at this, so beautiful, so perfect. Unfortunately, I did want that movement speed, so I did not even test this one out. Also note that I do have, I think, 13% poison chance here for my minions, and then 13 here. I think if the math serves me right, if you have like 15 and 15 or 15 and 14, you're basically at 100%, so you don't need a third ghastly jewel in your passive tree to get that minion poisonage to 100%. If you choose not to use a axe with chance to poison support gem, or the Dendrodate Sentinel Jacket that also has the chance to poison support gem, you're going to have to find 40% chance to poison for your minions elsewhere. So keep that in mind. Because I do have just a tiny bit of evasion, that's why I chose to grab the evasion rating based flasks. But honestly, if you want to go for granite or something else, you could. I mean, this is a super flexible spot. You almost don't need any of these flasks. They're just kind of nice to have. That's why I considered using sulfur flasks just for a little bit more damage. But how reliable is it when it's kind of automated on a boss? That's up to you. You could also potentially get yourself like a +2 level of all minion gems to get just a bit more damage. Alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another beautiful build.